What's good, Defenders? If it's the night before a match, you know what that means here at Defenders of the Bank, and it is the night before a match. Finally, back in the playoffs, LAFC ready to kick things off against a brand new opponent that we definitely haven't played recently. You know my voice, it's the Scarf. J.R. Liebert sitting right in front of the semi-famous Scarf Wall in beautiful Lawndale, California, and sitting to my left on my screen. Hopefully he's there on your screen. He's in all of our hearts always. One Christian, Philly, Philemon.
Yes, Defenders. It is Friday, so I will give you a toast. A happy, freaky Friday. And we are on the eve and the precipice of LAFC's first round matchup, a best of three series against a team that, yes, you've said it, we haven't seen many times before. This will only be our fifth time of the season that we are going to embark on this competition against said team from north of the border, the Vancouver Whitecaps, a team that finished 12, 10, and 12 versus us who finished 14, 10, and 10. Third place versus sixth place. But guess what? None of that even matters anymore. All that is in the past. You can throw all those stats out the window because this is a brand new season and we are embarking on our quest to defend the MLS Cup.
Yeah, remember all those games that we were talking about having played? There were Champions League games, there were Leagues Cup games, there were Open Cup games, there was Campeones Cup. We had played all these games for all these different things. 48 matches. Vancouver's played 44, by the way. 48 matches. And you know what Vancouver has already that we don't, Philly? That would be a trophy. That's right. Vancouver is your Canadian champion. By way of beating Montreal, they already have a trophy as part of their 44 matches. We do not. But like you said, none of it matters now because we get to play a really stupid best of three series. This is the dumbest thing that I think MLS has done in a very long time. Look, here's the deal. MLS, you really want to make more money off of these games? You really want to make more money? Then all the way through, you do what the rest of the world does when they decide when two teams are better than each other. They do a home and home. Nobody could complain. It's what the rest of the world does. And you know what? If you do the home and home, I think you get 8 games if I do the math right. 8 games is fantastic. No one would complain. Each team gets a home game. But instead, you got to do the stupid thing of playing a best of 3 first round series. And then every match after that is a one-off. F minus, MLS. F minus.
Totally F minus. I mean, this is only going to be our 49th game of the season. Last season with an MLS Cup, we played around 40. Nearly 10 more games this season across all competitions. And had we beaten Monterey, we might have even gotten a little further than that and been over the 50s. This is clown shoes. But nevertheless, it is what it is. And a really important thing to note is that there are no games that are going to end in regulation and go into extra time. It's straight PKs, y'all. And whoever wins in that competition wins that game. So the best way to avoid having to come back to BMO Stadium is to not lose, period. We win at home tomorrow, which we will. We head up to the Pacific, above the Pacific Northwest. I guess Vancouver's, whatever. It's a whole different country. We beat them in bad carpet place. Then we don't have to worry about any of this nonsense. Then we don't have to worry about getting charged for an additional matchup. And we move on in our own way. And that's that.
That is absolutely that. Look, these are two teams that are, despite the difference in points, there's 6 points separating the two over the course. Actually, no, 4 points separating the two over the course of the season. Look, here's the deal.
Hey.
What's up, Dave from Amsterdam? How are you, buddy? Here's the deal. Vancouver scored 1 more goal than we did in the regular season in Major League Soccer. Vancouver gave up 9 more goals than we did. Vancouver won 2 fewer games at home, but you know what? We both won 4 games on the road. We both have 14 different goal scorers in the Major League Soccer season. We both have 2 players who scored more than 4 and 2 other players with 4. And of any of our goals that have left, they lost Julian Gressel, scored 3 goals. We lost Sifu and Mahala. Combined, they scored 3 goals. This is a matchup that on paper, I don't think is the mismatch, Philly, that you and I feel like it is if you go by the regular season statistics.
And we shouldn't go by the regular season statistics because it doesn't effing matter what the regular season indicated. We could bring up the fact that we've only won 2 games when we conceded first. We could bring up the fact that we've won around 12 games when we've scored first. But in a brand new season, which this effectively is, all those statistics can get thrown out of the door. The reality, though, to focus on is the fact that Vancouver has had a good run of form, and a lot of that stems from the fact that they kept Brian White and Ryan Gould up top in that 3-5-2 formation. Since they've moved up there, they have been gangbusters and have played the last quarter of their season immensely well. We know that Vancouver has some players, and there goes my phone. We know that Vancouver has some players. Richie Laray, obviously another player that's doing it. Takaoka starting to look a little bit better. Obviously, they have one of our own, Tristan Blackman. So this is going to be a very dangerous team. And but I will say this. I'm a lot happier that we're going up against them in this round than Seattle or a very young and dangerous FC Dallas team. So I'm pretty confident in this matchup going into tomorrow.
Yeah, you know what? We've got one of their own as well. He'll be the man manning the pipes for LAFC, or manning between the pipes. I don't know. He's playing goalie for LAFC. His name is Maxime Crepeau. He's very, very good at what he does. What you got there, by the way, bud?
A red from Bloomington, Indiana, for that matter.
Wine country. Yeah.
Where's this from?
But
what is it? All right, she doesn't know. It's red. It's from Bloomington, Indiana. And I got to tell you, Indiana very much known for its corn resources. And by the way, it's limestone. Little do a lot of people realize that the Empire State Building is built off of the limestone that was mined from south of Bloomington in a town called, oh, God, I forgot the name of the town. But hold on a second. I hearken back to a panda. Okay. Shamborgin.
I think that you nailed it. That was it. You nailed it.
If you're from Indiana, you nailed it.
That's exactly how they pronounce it in Bloomington, Indiana, Philly. All right. Not to get Philly completely off the rails, but
yeah, that happens from time to time. No, it's mine.
Oh, man. Alberto, by the way. Let's put Alberto. I just love Alberto's take. There we go. I love this show. No, you left out.
Oh.
There we go. Nope.
God damn it, Scarf.
Stop judging things. I love this show. Nothing else like this with a diehard LAFC fan. Thank you, guys. Alberto, we appreciate you. We also appreciate everybody in the room. Mendo, Dave Gomez, Genuine Cougar, everybody out there. Let's get to our players to watch for this match, because you know what? We talked about Vancouver on our last One More Sleep. We're talking about Vancouver on this One More Sleep, and I guarantee you we're talking about Vancouver on our next One More Sleep. There's so many. Mendo, what's up, brother? All right, let's do it.
Hey,
I'm going with the back line, folks. I'm going with the back line, and I'm being very, very obvious about why I'm choosing both of our players. Obviously, Tristan Blackman, the former member of the Black and Gold, the 3rd overall pick in the 2018 MLS Super Draft, the same Super Draft that gave us the number 1 overall pick, Joao Moutinho. Sandwiched in there, by the way, I believe his name was Ryan Hilliard Arce of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, he was all of like 5'2", and I watched him warm up again with Zlatan when they were about to come in for the first time, and I went, one of these guys is going to have a career. The other guy is Ryan Hilliard Arce. Or Tomas, is it Tomas Hilliard Arce? Tomas Hilliard Arce. I think I got it wrong. Anyway.
It doesn't matter what his name is.
It doesn't matter what his name is. Tristan Blackman, the former member of the Black and Gold, who he really does seem to step it up every now and then against us. I don't think that's going to be a problem. He clearly didn't do that in the last game as well. And look, I don't know how many more matches he has left in Black and Gold, but I'm going to be watching how Giorgio Chiellini continues to affect this match. Obviously, this will be played at BMO, which is on that beautiful turf that we have, and beautiful grass that we have, not on turf.
Bermuda, what grass is it?
Oh man, you're gonna make me go back to the way back.
You can do that when I'm looking up. I'm talking about my players to watch.
Yeah, it's like Bermuda 575 or something cool that I can't even pronounce anymore. Either way, Giorgio Chiellini and Tristan Blackman are my players to watch, because I feel that the team that gives up the fewest goals is gonna win this match.
You're not wrong, me laddie. But at the end of the day, if the game ends in a tie in regulation, you still got to go to PKs. And that pretty much means that a goal scorer needs to have come through. So my players to watch, And you'll notice a trend if you watch the last One More Sleep. I'm not going to bring it up until the final slide. But my players to watch, very simple. Vancouver's Brian White. I mentioned earlier on, this entire team's fortune is completely shifted when White and Gold are playing the up top in that 3-5-2 formation that Vanni Sartini has employed. The guy's got 15 goals and 4 assists on the season and has been a pesky thorn in our side. We drew them last game. Okay. And we were quite lucky to have walked out of BC Place with the draw, because had Maxime Crepeau not stopped the PK, we would have walked out with an L, because Vancouver played a lot better than us. But in that previous matchup in BMO, we did a bad job defending the bank. And one of those reasons, we didn't contain Brian White. He scored. Ryan Gould scored, and Veselinovic also scored. We got to keep their big guns away from our back line. I like what you're saying. You focus on the defense. We got a pretty stingy defense as well, but we got to be mindful for Brian White. And Deni Bouanga, look, the Golden Boot leader. I made joke earlier that, hey, the stats in the past, they don't matter. But what does matter is the fact that, well, Deni and Carlos, for that matter, have contributed to pretty much all of LAFC's offense. The pair, and I'm talking about Carlos and Deni, 47 of the 83 goals. That across all competitions, that's 56.6%. And if you go based on their assists and goals between Deni and Carlos, you're talking about 81.4% of LAFC's MLS goals and everything else. You got to feed Deni the ball, because we live and die by the Deni. Deni doesn't score, we die. We go down with the Gabonese Golasso goal machine.
Look, Ryan Gauld was everywhere for Vancouver in that last match. Brian White was nowhere to be found, milk carton. So you better believe that Vanni Sartini is going to be doing everything he can to find Brian White some more spaces. I am surprised that neither of us, there's only 2 of us, picked Richie Laryea as, look, go back and watch the game. If you want to find out who the most annoying person on the pitch was for the entire match, just watch Richie Laryea. Richie Laryea completely affected that match for Vancouver. He looked excellent out there. He got in all of our heads. The only person I think that did a better job of getting anybody's head was Maxime Crepeau on the PK taker, Ryan Gauld. So that being said, look, this is a very even matchup. You've got the 2 goal scorers. I've got the 2 defenders. Now let's see what our keys to the match are going to be. And mine, first and foremost, is to assert yourself early. I felt like what LAFC did not do when we played them just, 7 days ago by the time this airs. What we did not do is put one of those early chances away. And I don't want to leave it up to a Deni Bouanga worm burner from 24 yards out like he had in this last match. I want LAFC to find that clinical 2, 3, 4, 5 touch ball in the back of the net passing that we have come to know and love. Kike Oliveira has done a much better job over the last couple of matches of playing more within himself, finding the right lanes, making the right passes. He's no longer crossing it into absolutely nobody every other time he touches the ball. So I think he's going to be a big part of everything. Obviously, Carlos Vela is still the straw that stirs the drink, but we are going to need an early banger from one of those top 3 guys. Hell, maybe it's Giorgio Chiellini that puts one in from far away. Maybe it's on a header, a set piece. I don't know, but we need to assert ourselves early. And that being said, we need to defend smarter in key moments. And there are 2 moments that I take away from last match that Maxime Crepeau and his friend, the goalpost, both saved our butts about. Diego Palacios, that was a foolish attempt on a shoulder-to-shoulder foul and or just nice play in the box. That was an easy call all day long for a PK, and I yelled at Daniil Maldonado for doing this several times. I yelled at Ryan Hollingshead for doing this over the course of the season, and I was screaming at the top of my lungs, Philly, when Ryan Hollingshead went back to ground yet again and cost us a PK because Richie Laryea is part of the Vancouver Diving Club as well as the Vancouver Football Club. Stay on your feet and defend smarter in those key moments. You got Giorgio Chiellini and Maxime Crepeau who have your back. Just play within yourselves, keep your head, defend well. And again, the team that gives up the fewer amount of goals in this game, Philly, they are going to win.
I mean, that's a brilliant observation. I couldn't have said it any better myself. You are absolutely right, my friend. Absolutely right. My keys to the game, and if you were paying attention to the last one more sleep, you're going to laugh at it. Well, actually, no. You know what? There was a change. Feed Deni. It's pretty basic. Pretty basic, I know. But when the guy goes off scoring more than 30 goals over the course of all matches in all competitions, if he's contributed along with Carlos Vela in over half your goals and 81 point whatever percent of the offense, you got to feed your best player. Do they know, by they, I mean Vancouver's back line and Vanni Sartini, do they know that Deni is going to be a big component in there? Sure. But if you feed him the ball and you still have all the defense and all the defenders collapsing on him, that's going to leave Carlos Vela open. And God forbid he gets the ball on the left side with a little bit of space to spare. He is going to punish Takaoka in the most embarrassing of ways. But ultimately, it still boils down to what Deni can do. Feed Deni and GTFO out of his way. For you kids out there, this is not suitable for a working or classroom environment. Feel free to ask your mom and dad or Google what GTFO is, but I will not say this on a family-friendly show.
Philly, what does the O stand for?
Out.
Oh, okay. Just want to make sure.
Oh, ooh. I see what you did there. Yeah.
That's from the Department of Redundancy Department, I believe.
Hey, look, if MLSsoccer.com could get away with it, I can too on a little show.
Amen, brother. Absolutely right. Look, I completely agree with what Philly is saying. It is not a hot take on any stretch of the imagination to say that if we don't feed Deni Bouanga and if Deni Bouanga does not score, we're in a little bit of trouble. So there you go.
I want to so bad. We made a decision a long time ago to be family friendly. I can't begin to tell you how much it irks me, but I get it. We got to do it for the kids. I respect
Oscar. Don't worry, he'll DM you what it means. It's fine. It's all good. Just in case. No, look, it's absolutely right. We need to look. It didn't matter if people were in his way or not, right? Philly, what were there 4 defenders back when Deni scored last time? That little worm burner there to the left of Takaoka. So I think, look, Deni, it's frustrating to think this, but I completely agree that Deni has to have one of those Deni Bouanga moments in each match in this postseason for us to have a chance to win MLS Cup again. So that being said, let's get to the score predictions. I'm upset at myself that I'm a little vanilla here.
I am too.
I don't get the cool effects or anything, so you see mine right away. It's 2-1.
Oh, I thought you meant by your score prediction.
No, it's vanilla. It's 2-1. It's all right. Look, it's not going to be a convincing win, in my opinion, because Vancouver now has seen us 4 times. And I don't think there's anything that Vanni Sartini won't be prepared for that we could possibly throw at him. But I just think the overall talent level, when you take away Richie Larea's bleep housery that he likes to do all up and down the pitch, when you take that away, in my opinion, there's nothing that Vancouver does better than we do. And I think styles make fights, matchups make these matches as good as I think they can be. And I think the way that we match up formation-wise, the way that we match up talent-wise against Vancouver over the course of a 2 or, God forbid, 3-game series, I just think that the talent and the quality of what we've seen from LAFC over the course of our season will win out over Vancouver in the long run. And I think it's going to be 2 very hotly contested, very closely contested matches. 2-1 in this one, LAFC.
It's going to be a dogfight, no doubt about it. 2 teams that are intimately familiar and aware of each other. Again, we said this. This is going to be the 5th matchup between both sides this season. And, well, Vancouver should have won the last game. I hate to say it, but they should have won at BC Place. They did beat us in our place. The fact that they infiltrated BMO and walked out a couple of months ago with a 3-2 victory perplexes and blows my mind. But that being said, that's in the past. This is a brand new season. In a league made up of superstars, we on paper look far better than Vancouver ever can. And no disrespect to the Whitecaps. Their first playoffs since 2017. Vanni Sartini has done a wonderful job turning this team around and making them competitive. And oh, by the way, 25,000 at BC Place to witness their matchup on decision day. Bravo. I don't remember the last time BC Place has even held 25,000 people. But that being said, this is our home. Nobody's going to walk into our home and push us around. Not the Vancouver Whitecaps, not whoever's going to be in their next round. Nobody. We are walking out of here and ripping their heart and souls out. When we score first, we more than often than not win games. And that being the case, we are not only going to score first, we are going to blank them, clean sheet them, embarrass them. And it's going to be by way of Deni Bouanga and Carlos Vela. They're going to have a couple of decent attempts, but our back line is going to string it together. The 32-52, everybody in BMO Stadium, and the millions watching out there on Apple TV and wherever else they may be are going to be there in spirit. They're going to be loud and proud, and the 12th man is going to will us into one of the best postseason defeats of all time. One can say you could be superstitious. The last time LAFC rolled into the playoffs with a third seed, you'd have to go back to 2018 where they lost to Real Salt Lake. But that is not going to happen. We are going to smoke this team like a pack of Newports that somebody would smoke in the 90s, because I don't think people smoke cigarettes anymore, let alone Newports.
Man, I'll tell you this. They definitely do in Washington, D.C. I just came back, by the way, after 5 days in Washington, D.C. with 38 eighth graders. And let me tell you, they definitely still smoke in Washington, D.C. Want to remind everybody real quick, FanFest and Fields both open up at 1 p.m. tomorrow. The shop opens up at like noon, and there are new playoff t-shirts. That LA is black and gold, finally a timeless design for the playoffs. I absolutely love this. These LA is black and gold shirts that they came out with are beautiful. There's a white one and a black one. And of course, there's a new scarf. So I'll make sure I grab one of those. But look, it's going to be a really fun day tomorrow. It's going to be FanFest starting at probably 10 o'clock for all of the supporters groups and everything that are out there. The official FanFest, I think, opens at 1. So don't forget, 1 o'clock for the FanFest in Fields, but get out there early. Come hang out with us over at our tent. We absolutely can have no penalties. You're absolutely right, Mendo. Got to win at home in 90 minutes. And Philly is a little more optimistic than I am going into this, which is a flip-flop from a lot of the course of our 34-game regular season. He's got 2-0. I've got 2-1. And either way, we've got Vancouver for one more match after this one. What is it going to be? Is it Saturday, Friday? Is that what I hear? Is that what it's supposed to be? Or Saturday, Sunday?
We'll just focus on the match at hand, because honestly, I don't even know without checking the internet. But real quick, I am optimistic, because got to remind everybody, that's a championship ring. We are still the defending champions, despite having lost a fair amount of games and pretty much every other cup opportunity we had this past season. We are still the flipping champions of Major League Soccer, and we're going to act like it. And speaking of which, public service address announcement and statement to BMO Stadium's facilities manager, my man or woman or whatever you identify as, put our damn championship banners on the rafters again. I don't remember the last time we were at BMO Stadium and saw the banners on the rafters. We are in the playoffs. 6 years, we have 2 shields and 1 cup, and we're going to go out there and contend for another one. Let us remind our visitors who in the hell that they are competing against. This isn't a third-place team in Major League Soccer. No, this is one of the best damn clubs Major League Soccer has ever had the privilege of having underneath their belt. And we're going to go out there and compete. So, BMO Facilities Manager, if this message finds you, put those damn banners back on the rafters, and let's let Vancouver know who the best in the West and the best in MLS is. LAFC above the rest will take care of it all.
I have nothing left to say. We should just play the music.
That's you got nothing? Not even one?
No, that rant was fantastic. And you're probably gonna play it right in the middle of me talking like you sometimes do. So it doesn't really matter to say, because I could rant.
No. We're heading into the playoffs. I have a little more respect for you there.
I was ready. I was kind of setting up. But that's all right. Let's go. 2-0 Philly, 2-1 me. Bye-bye.
Let's go!